Okay, I think the last two topics that we have, we can probably get through pretty quick after all of that discussion. Especially this next one, dealing with failbacks. I think, unfortunately for Alex,
the answer is probably just no.
yeah. Which is another good point that was brought up. We have several patches out there right now that are close to merging for replication. We should probably just go through and -2 all of those. And I guess might as well revert the patches that got in, or should we hold on reverting until we're ready?
Reverts for us are kind of hard because we have bug fixes mixed in accidentally that we need to account for. So
okay.
We will have to manually put up a new patch to help.
Yeah, so we should
Okay, so we'll leave merge
and then touch it
where they are, so we know what we have to do, and then either you can just tweak the code or.
Fine with that.
Okay.
We have Cinder client patches that have language too that we probably should revert.
Those should probably be reversed.
Yeah.
Just to be safe, so that they don't accidentally get out there.
but then it's
Did we release that client? With
I think we may have.
It's okay if we did because it didn't do it.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Here's some money.
So,
So, Sean, do you want me to do a new spec in the Mitaka?
what do you think?
I think it's easier.
Yeah. 2.1.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that, I think we're good with replication for now. Anybody else have anything on that before we go on? We're good with cheesecake, everyone likes cheesecake?
yeah.
All right. So, while we consistency group patch, this might be related.
I added this one just because I
Yeah.
actually already managed to this one, but they were asking me to do it again.
Yeah.
They implement CG, but not the snapshot part. They want to use the group, and then they basically feel like in
Yeah, I
in
looked
there,
at this one too.
it's not
Kind of strange.
Yeah. So like we are not even supporting a group replication in Cinder yet. I mean, how can you just do this and say you support it?
It didn't implement create snapshot.
Because they don't support snapshot, they only support replication. They use the group. They use consistent group for replication actually, but the replication is managed by their
They're just
backend. It's not in
hacking
Cinder.
consistency groups to expose their group replication.
That's a line.
I did. I already added -2 there. I just want to see if there's any.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
I don't think that's the right approach. It's not
Okay.
doing
All
what
right.
the intent of the feature was. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't even implement, the enable and fill or they're just doing it outside. They just use the group concept. So I would do -2.
Yeah, maybe make a comment that this isn't the right
Mm-hmm.
usage of this API. Or we have plans for adding something that will allows flexibility.
Yeah, I'll just ask him to wait until Newton and see if there's any change. Right now, yeah. Safe. It's typing.
Just for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Between all those notes and the recording, hopefully we all remember the
I can't even remember. Which one was she?
Your picture.
Shane is here.
Okay. What was next?
Hey, I was solving a problem.
Was that
Well, no, I mean, it kind of came, John was talking, we were talking about re-architecting Cinder, what needs to change, where do we want it to go? It seems like if we start the conversation now,
yeah.
okay, so we'll finish 3 months earlier. I mean, it's just, it's going to take a long time to get ideas out, I thought.
This was the whole thing of getting rid of the kind of standard API message bus scheduler.
All manner of things. If we were to redesign Cinder, what would it look like? What should Cinder be used for? What, things that evolved since Cinder started with containerization and things, what does that mean? Is our architecture broken? Big statements like that, what we replace it? I had set out to change just the attach and detach API to be simpler, but when you start changing that and you start adding multi-attach, it ties into all of this, so it's all kind of connected as far as so if this came up with multi-attach. Architecturally, the whole idea was expose a connector and they can do whatever they want with it, and please have the courtesy to call us to clean it up when you're done. That's kind of the way it is now. Is that the way it should be? And update it, which is the new API we want to add. But is that what the new should be? Maybe. These questions keep coming up. Is everybody's in a room? We've solved all. If we have nothing left to do, then is this the time to talk about it?
I think if we wrote a scenario, we would use task
Say that for tomorrow.
Maybe. I mean,
it's true.
I just think it's awesome that I didn't say it.
maybe someday someone will clean that. I think Mikkel wants to do it. I know he does. It's on his list. He's got a backlog. It's down there. So. On the book. I don't know if maybe nobody wants to talk about it. It just seems like an interesting subject. It kind of also then falls into long-term stuff. Well, if we were to draw a roadmap for the next couple of years, what would be on? Anything? Or are we always doing this for the parties? Which is perfectly legitimate.
There's a lot of technical debt. This stuff that hasn't gotten cleaned up yet. Other people put that stuff at the top of the roadmap. I guess get all the stuff that we already know about to fix.
Do we know what those are?
Quotas.
What's that?
Quotas. They're completely utterly broken. Those are all getting fixed. Where's mine?
There is.
Welcome, man.
Okay, so Ryan's take care of that. Check.
Notifications,
Oh.
ABCs,
So it's kind of funny with notifications that actually through between Kilo and Liberty we've changed the notifications very, very much because of the first objects coming in. And no one complained. There were no bugs that we broke the compatibility with notifications. So probably no one's using it. No one's actually thinking of versioning the notifications. But if no one is complaining in Cinder, we think we need to have.
Finishing the active
Oh yeah.
needs to get wrapped up in the whole architecture for the backup service to be scalable. Well, that's part of it.
Yeah, that's part of the. Right now we have like a dev code of tools, but it's not doing anything. It's not sitting there.
Version objects and versions.
There are all these things that take one that needs to wrap up.
So I had lunch on to, I had the stability reads idea or.
Yeah, I took it out there. Someone wants to read through the mailing list thread. There's a lot of very good points on both sides. It seems like framing it that way publicly is not a smart thing. Yeah, even if we want to emphasize that. Personally, I like the thought behind it. Okay, let's stop running forward and slow down a little bit and make sure we've got everything right. I don't think completely hoping all new activities right answer. I think it's only a little more focused on let's finish up these things that we know issues or that we never completed. I'd love to see that happen. I actually remember in a couple of meetings I tried to get an Mitaka going of unfinished business, which is basically this kind of my idea behind it was this getting this list of things that we don't have issues or that we know we didn't complete. No idea what happened to that now though.
My move is to drop.
connection of the ACI, things like logo, migration,
That's right.
Honestly, I think this is just something that we should working. And we actually take a more serious look at overall, well, for the purpose of Cinder, how we're. That's
right. That's kind of the original question, and that's kind of what sparked this. Well, there's no sense in doing more work. The micro version or the multi-attach stuff is already on its way, but it brings up lots of these questions. And so that's kind of what sparked in my mind. If we're going to, when John brought up, we should re-architect this. Well, how? What? We expose a lot of problems when we start doing this multi-attach.
Should we look at trying to reduce the amount of noise in CI so it's more useful?
Oh, yeah.
So, you know,
join inference in our coding, CI.
well, that's one thing I was thought of is I don't know how to do this, but if you were, for instance, running a job through CI that doesn't do anything, you know, add some metadata files so it doesn't get merged or something, but just a baseline, and then we're able to see all the things that we're marking as failures and track those, then you could discount those reports from those. They're all false failures. I'm trying to think about the false failure, the noise problem.
If you go to the work, because all you care about the water control.
Nobody cares what?
About the water control. But they don't care because it was red.
That's what I'm saying, is we should care, but because they're false negatives all the time, we don't care. So, if you can imagine basically, this is conceptual, practical. The brightness of the color red was reduced by the amount of false negatives reported. You don't note it, it got down to transparent, for some of these guys. Then, but then you pay attention to the really red ones because they're reliable.
Right. Isn't that the goal of this guy, is to make it so when you look at it, if it's red, it means something really real, then you
So,
stop.
I mean, this is a problem. I don't know the answer to it, but I think it's one of the things that if we have creative ideas on how to improve it, that would be really add value.
CI reliability. I don't know, something that should.
If we're covering technical debt,
I think of it as.
Well, we talked about that. I think this is just sort of, I don't know. Yeah.
You improve the way the CI is reported in the Garrett UI. Change the UI to say, sort them by the ones that are usually reliable at the top and then the user staff at the bottom.
I'm just looking at you.
I mean,
that way I don't hesitate. I'm just, let's do the next half hour. I can hear you. All right, let's sit down and talk about that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go there.
We're nuclear problem next.
Yeah, all right, that was that.
But you know what I'm saying is, the reason people ignore when they're red is because they're always red. They weren't always red.
Oh, right. Well, hold on. There's also that I think is the key for me when I'm looking at reviews. It's consistently between each different review that I'm looking at during the day. There's so many different reds that it turns into one. It's not necessarily that it's always saying one.
Yeah.
Because I'm always looking at the context of CI with respect to what's in the review.
Sure.
Especially with respect to.
Well, if you could automate the fact that it's your own CI.
Specific to drivers,
Yeah.
the very first thing I always do is I go look at their CI. If it's not reporting a failure, it might as well be really next. So,
That's
if it's passing, then I'll start taking a little bit closer look at the other CIs, especially if they have to go outside of their driver. That's just the way I look at it. I don't know.
trying to do the same. I think the biggest thing for me still, if they can't start dead stack, don't say failure, say broken. Well, that would be thing two, right? If we had a number of stats.
We've been suggesting that really
We have.
forever, and no one's done it still.
And in that case, it's a question of sorting your output slightly different such that we know that there are certain CIs that are just broken, because we see those all the time. They fail in 6 seconds.
Yeah.
That's not a failure.
They don't download something from there.
I mean, exactly.
It never starts.
So
That's,
often.
and that's, that's something with code, so it shouldn't count as fail.
There is. Yeah, that's their job to do it. Nobody uses it for their CI. I don't know how easy it is. I don't know.
Well, maybe
Yeah, CI maintainer.
that you can still have those unstable reports somewhere, you hidden off to the side.
Well, I like that, because that's a concrete first step. We're not trying to solve everything.
Right.
That would definitely be success. Sorting by when hosted, sorted by
Exactly.
passengers, due daily.
That would help. For most web UIs, you have the option of how you want to sort things. If you wanted to go, holy crap, I just care about the HPCI because I've been having problems.
Yeah.
I would have said, so you find the HPCI in the same spot.
Trying to look for a specific CI as
I
of
have
right now.
such a
I have to do
problem.
Control F and put it there.
And that completely sucks.
Yeah, is it something Infra does? Just change that?
I have a CSS injection going.
Yeah, it's a lot of crap. The UI in here could be different and helpful and more useful, especially for projects like this that have
So to drive that, you're saying talk to infra. I'm also wondering, is that an appropriate thing for the cross project?
Well, somebody already did it for the final CI thing. That was custom open.
Yeah, there's already some customization in there, so just expanding on that.
Oh, I know. But somebody out there has been working on it a little bit.
I mean, this is the thing that John's been complaining about for, well, since forever. Because we have so many damn CIs reporting, it's just almost useless.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly an improvement because you kind of know who is reliable and you kind of know who's not. If it's sorted, then you at least can look and say, all right, well, I'm getting green from all the people who I know have reliable CIs.
Yeah.
You know, doesn't matter to me. You already know a couple of them that are never going to report properly. So, John's busy writing code. You did mention we have a broken architecture. What are you?
Do the architecture difference if you were to write it down?
Way off the world.
It's the last half hour. Yes, this is the time. Like off the world.
So, I guess, a couple of things. One is, I'm not sure that the way we do drivers anymore is actually the right way to do it. And what I mean by that is, we've got this pretty static flow that we've had for a long time. We go from the API, the scheduler, RPC, to the deploying manager, the driver. And everything in the driver is this big flat driver flat or driver module. In some of you guys' cases, you have base, SC. What I'm wondering is, I've looked before and tried to figure out if it would be better or more efficient to actually have things implemented based on functionality instead of like, this is the driver. You inherit from this driver, and this inherits from here and there, and have all these layers of inheritance. Instead, have libraries of methods or functionality groupings or whatever, and actually inherit from those on down and do it that way. It may not make any sense. There's still no people in class. So you would end up with multiple classes, and that's the thing. I usually hate that idea, but depending on how it's done, I think it might be something that's useful.
If there are libraries that are orthogonal, it doesn't really, then it's not such a big deal.
That's the idea, exactly. But that's the key is, can you actually pull it off?
You're not trying to build a taxonomy so much as just have basically bags of useful stuff for this or for that. What's the problem in the libraries?
So if you look right now, the problem that I have with what we have today, and I have ideas to fix it in my driver if there's nothing, if we don't do anything else. The problem that I have with the way things are today is you look at the drivers and they're horribly bloated.
Code size.
Yeah, more than anything else. The other thing is, just based on, iterating over things and adding features and everything over the years and stuff like that, I think we've all got a lot of things. But
So you're talking about OBM, RDG,
yeah,
about some, for example, some file, drivers. Okay, so for example, was file drivers, introducing small where.
yeah, you're right. I don't think it's really, it's probably not reasonable to think
like they have a for themselves, for me, for there's cell columns. You can operate because that is unstable and you don't know how it works.
Our answer to that was always, Cinder doesn't care. It's the job of the vendor. There's stuff in there.
Yeah, but at the same
But
time,
we care
can't
when
go
you
through and
when you use it.
I think that every other project I can think of that has drivers, we just have single files for each driver.
Yeah.
Or directories for each driver.
and that's,
Some are long and some are short, and if they're long, that's too bad.
so I don't think that, like I said, it's not feasible, it's just pie in the sky. But what is feasible is to take another look at the flow maybe, and how where we do things and how we do them. So go back to some of the things we talked about in the past doing is being more consistent about what states we set and how we set them. That would be a code. I mean, that's not architectural change, it's just a code. That would be a big one. I would probably put that on the top of the list. Concentrating where we do certain things. So we have this ugliness of, depending on who wrote the patch and touched the code last, will determine where the database, the model update might live. Maybe in the API, maybe in the manager, or maybe, who knows. It would be nice to have specific guidelines and ideas around where that should be. And in all cases, it may not be the right place. And so there's exceptions. But if there are, then we can document it and comment and say why. The quota mechanism, we all talked about that. Apparently, there's a lot going on there to fix it, so that's good. But that's definitely things that we can look at. And then there's, Winston's proposal. Should everything go through the scheduler? Should we no longer do these direct to back-end calls? I used to think that was a bad idea. Then I started looking at some things some more, and there's a number of things you can gain from that are pretty powerful. Mm-hmm. I think we need to take another look at our capability reporting again, because that's all freeform and everybody's doing something a little bit different. So,
John, you touched on the state structure, so you didn't really mean it architecturally, just clean up. But I have a question, which is.
Well, actually, what I said was that's not architectural. It's cleaning up the implementation.
That's what I meant to be saying. I said something different. But it leads me to wonder if we were starting fresh with doing state management with the same kind of architecture. In particular, would we would we keep track of state in objects? So, you know, the volume enters a certain state and transitions through it. Or would we, you know, have a way to keep track of caps instead of formatting?
So that's my favorite thing about having objects now, is I think that that's where that stuff should be kept.
That's where it
I think that should all be done in the object.
So one thing that implies on the face of it, though, is that and it may not matter, but it just came up in a discussion we were having actually on backup, though, was it limits sort of concurrency on that particular object. The object itself can only be one step. That may be a fine something.
What you actually need to say is it limits race conditions on that.
Right, yeah.
It does, but it also limits some possible non-racy things. So you could imagine, for example, restoring the same volume in multiple destinations.
That's restoring backup.
Okay, I mean restoring backup to multiple new volumes.
But the status of that backup is restoring. And the status of those volumes.
Right. When I complete now today, I reset, right, rather than maintaining a reference count or something and leaving it restoring if I'm not doing it. But maybe this is just a theoretical problem, not a practical problem. I'm just...
The thing about the status is it's not an internal thing, it's a visual thing. I mean, we need to track more states, but the status, which I think in some cases we do, then that's okay. But the status is just what the user sees. So if something is, it's like the multi-attach. If it's attached somewhere, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 10 attachments, it's attached.
So it's like a rough count.
It's in use.
Yeah, in use. And the same with a backup. If the backup is being restored to 1, 2, 3, or 10 volumes, it's still in restored and sort of finished. Individual volumes that it's restoring to might become available, but until it's finished, that backup is restored.
I'm just curious. So let me first answer the question. I think obviously you can make decisions based on what that state is on what you can and can't do. All I was saying was having a better mechanism in a centralized place that defines what those states are and what they mean.
I'm all for that.
But I would ask in that example you gave, do we need to let people back?
No, I don't know. That's why I said I don't know.
Back up
It's
to
just
10
theoretical.
simultaneously?
Well, it just came up in the context of talking about concurrency and backups, you know, in the discussion. So, you know, you realize you're not allowing that currently.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with not allowing that. Most backup applications, you know, through, I don't know currently, but I used to write backup apps. And that was a rule. You did not do that. There's good reasons why. and it has
Well,
nothing
it's simpler if you don't.
It has nothing to do with simpler. It has to do with reading the backup data out of the database and reformatting and putting it back together and the resources that takes to do that. Now, our backup isn't that sophisticated, so it's not a big deal.
Well, I'm happy for now. I just wanted
To
to
pick an example that is probably slightly more constrained, flow. If flow is slow, like you're doing the DD-based flow, you totally might want to parallelize those. Because we certainly have people who claim a volume change rather than do volume change. That's certainly used to see in production.
That's why we did cache, and that's why cache was implemented.
Yes. No, this is flow, not trace limit volume flow. If you happen to be doing a slow flow, DD-based flow, you conceivably might want to allow parallelization of that into.
Sure.
You can imagine a system that can track jobs and jobs pertaining to
So-
resources that they were.
Again,
So hold on.
there's nothing about putting this logic in the volume object. Or whatever.
Right. So
What you're doing with this.
let's be careful. So yeah, we can think of all sorts of cases and models and stuff of where somebody would do this or wouldn't do that, or I'm certainly not saying that you don't allow anything like you don't allow concurrency. I just said it's a model so that we actually had defined states so that we always knew what a possible state was as opposed to a string entry in a dictionary and have a central place where we control those transitions. That's all. Right?
Didn't John Harlow put up a patch that kind of sort of
Several different patches.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, it may not be
All of them
the
look alike.
code that we would approve if we did. I love that idea, I think it's great.
So there's a different granularity, right? In the states.
That was a little bit different. But what I'm saying is just, and again, in terms of simplicity and not boiling the ocean, start with taking what we have today, where we have all these places that we do a model update on status, and send that into the database. I think, maybe you have a different opinion, but I would think that for volumes, for example, the volume object class is actually the place where lock transition should take place.
States would find there and
Exactly. So you define the states there and you make the transition.
John, once we've finished the move to objects, we should next full model update.
That's my point.
yes, exactly. The volume object is
Even
not-
without doing your change, that should become true. We should remove every model update that's not in an object. If we keep all our staying on the object. Even without thinking about what you're saying with validation.
No, all I'm saying is that's where, yeah.
So,
I think you're saying the same thing.
if you just make status a property, you can actually just do the validation in the object now without changing the line of code anywhere else. Once we've got all these model updates that we're trying to get them anyway.
Yeah, I think you're just saying make the validation really smart.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah, I think you guys are.
Right.
I think I'm saying it's really easy to do. That's all I'm saying. It's actually not hard at all to do change.
I didn't say it was hard. Just said
I have a really crazy idea. Yes. So
She's kicking this guy.
I'm not advocating this, but some people are concerned about, you have a cloud. I would like to be able to provision some storage, some compute resources with some amount of guarantee about like how fast they'll be able to talk to each other. Right now, that's possible, right? There's nowhere in openstack is there a notion of what is the bandwidth between my compute instance and my storage volume.
Kind of a locality filter.
Yeah, but I mean, some people would like to be able to produce hard guarantees. To get there requires, I think, a global schedule, something that makes decisions about storage and compute at the same, and maybe networking at the same time.
it's not vicious stuff.
As we talked about, those refinements, it is all we died and run.
Well, yeah. I'm not proposing we take that on. I'm saying that it remains an unsolved problem.
You're talking about the pure IO.
No, this is a, so midcycle, this is part of what growth was all about. If you remember back and forth, right? I think. So like Fish was talking about is
Just what LVM is.
correct. But he actually had a bigger plan in mind to eventually have a, at least I think, I could be wrong. I thought that there was a bigger plan in mind to actually have a higher level scheduler to do more orchestration and scheduling among all different services.
So if we were to do a redesign, you might want to think in terms of how would you want to change the scheduler to allow someone to make decisions that affect compute and storage and everything. If they wanted to build this. I don't, it seems like a really hard problem, especially given existing architecture. Yeah. But it sucks that you can't solve that problem. So.
You know what they're trying to separate schedule out and then just failed. They're trying to take it out. Working on that for long. Just difficult to take it out.
So I wonder if the way to do that might be to tackle it from a different angle. Right? So the way to do that might be start writing a higher level scheduler first, and then figure out what pieces do I need to put where to make this stuff work. The risk, the danger there is you may end up doing a whole bunch of work and putting a bunch of stuff together and figure out this doesn't really buy me anything. You know what I mean? Well, at the very least, you need to remove large amounts of node or whatever to get all that. Because all the information would have to feed into like a giant decision-making engine. Yeah, we would need to have access to everything that all this existing schedulers have.
Yeah, but the thing that's cool is, remember, all that stuff, a large majority of that stuff is all in Oslo now. So you're just pulling in and a lot of the scheduler code.
No, they threw it out. Yeah, they got rid of the scheduler. That was a couple months ago.
That's removed. No one
This week.
can
You
take it.
Pulled it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because no one can.
I thought our schedulers were based on
They were. They're not anymore, apparently. The code that's in OpenStack Common Scheduler blog is just sat in Cinder now. It's not no longer in Oslo, it's got our own blog.
Yeah.
And
And not also reworked. So.
it should probably be renamed
No one knows
Scheduler.
actually.
Wow, so it's not also.
We moved it to Oslo, but never completely changed it over. Only in Cinder, and only Manila's using it, so. Yeah, Cinder and Manila still using that, but not all.
So I do still have to do that.
I did put out there, move as many as possible into our tool.
When you do that, would you then require new features to have tempest tests in the same
With the
path?
features.
So I don't,
Unit tests?
I don't know if I agree with moving tempest tests into a tree is the correct description of that.
The purpose of Tempest is to test the API and not
Well,
functionality of the tool itself.
yeah, so what I would say is, I would just try to be more clear and say, inter-service testing stays in Tempest.
Yeah.
Cinder-specific functional testing.
Tempest plugging in how you implement those functions.
It's a Tempest library, yes. You use a Tempest library.
And you would create Tempest plugin. That's how people do it. Tempest has a plugin architecture. Tempest is on top, Tempest lives in the bottom, your plugins are all your tests.
Right, that's what I'm calling the library. So I think we're on the same page. So all I was going to say was move Tempest tests into Cinder. I don't necessarily think that's what we want to do. Because like volume test, that doesn't belong in Cinder. That belongs in
Well, certainly not inter-service, but is there any merit in moving any of them? It came up when we were talking about API microversions.
Okay, so in that response, in response to that, I would say yes. There definitely is. I mean, there's no reason why things like test over quota create volume fails, right? There's no reason why that probably couldn't live in Cinder by itself.
I think we need to leave paper on the test over here for definition.
Sure.
Or others move to Cinder functional.
And the functional test stuff is also unfortunately one of the things on my list that I'm gonna have to wait.
Would we be better about requiring functional tests when the feature speaks to it than the other?
Yes, once we introduce a functional test job, we should require. Because, to be honest, some of our unit tests are functional.
Well, unless we notice, and we make sure they're not.
We would like to clean up the unit tests.
Voluntary.
Watch how fast.
The bugs down.
I'm speeding up.
Migrating the volume stats from a dictionary to an object help standardize.
Yep. So if something changes, there is inside, and we have to keep that other configuration. I was thinking of it, and decided to not do this thing release because we are not changing anything eventually,
Matt Reederman and I have been talking a little bit about also changing brick to do something similar. Start optionally allowing you to return objects instead of dictionaries for connector for the initiator information. It's a completely undefined contract that is vital for a lot of things.
I wonder if it's good to use special objects here, or maybe it's better to just create a class for that.
We put up a POC
I've seen that.
patch that started to go down that road. Right now in connection info, it actually returns the dick right now. This patch actually adds a flag that allows some leeway between that is in the old library over returning an option. But that, no, that's lost.
You know, my preference would be probably another class, not another version of the library. But single instance of library isn't talking with multiple instances of several multiple versions of services. Version objects will solve another problem, different problem. That's one thing.
Just wondering.
We are returning the connector to we are returning from the API to the global. Okay?
Well, the API gets it
From volume.
from volume, and it also has to initialize connection time. And the return of initialized connection should be, instead of the dictionary, should be an object as well.
So we can return an object, a version object from OS3. So we convert OS3 from this class. I don't know. Returning a will be more flexible for use of OS3.
Not very resty, but yeah. So this has to go up with rest so the return initialized connection that goes directly to Nova, it goes directly into Brick, and all the information there has to be structured correctly in order for us to be able, in order for Brick to be able to discover the volumes. Connections, so I mean, it's all really loose right now, but we just seem to be okay because of their views on that NCI is passive, but it's not very strong.
What do we prevent that this failure, or what do we need to prevent the problem we had merging that multi-attach mix where it wrote backwards compatibility with liberty? Is that it? One, it's a test of some sort. Where should that live? That really makes sense. So, as a between nodes and divergence.
Oh, yeah. That was nice.
Even a one release upgrade.
Yeah.
Is start.
And one moving.
Yeah.
That should be possible in the current state of the to just set up a storage node instead of compute node and run them.
do, there's a list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was just thinking, now that I'm looking for something to do.
Well, and I don't know if that should I live somewhere besides here or not, but you know, it's just kind of I find it useful to look at something that goes beyond one release, has a sort of a backlog thing like that.
But it's like most of these models were mentioned earlier in understanding in Tokyo and Vancouver.
Yeah. Well, see, maybe if we keep them somewhere, we won't have to say them all. No, seriously, it is kind of a, we do say the same things over and over.
When we start talking about how we want to get some sort of safe shutdown capability and recovery mode from crash, just the center service itself, we still can't do that.
Take like 4 or 5 sessions on that.
Yeah.
Well, crazy idea, but it's like you create a backlog and then maybe you prioritize the backlog, and that does help sort of release by release to cut through some of the shade because people propose all kinds of things. Well, are you proposing something that's already been discussed? Yes, we discussed it. Yes, it's in the backlog, but we kind of thought it was lower than some of these things. I don't know if it helps at all.
We talked about multi-node testing recently.
No, we're going to talk about it right now.
Because we need it for migration and retype, probably other things.
I think it's being used, right?
Not for Cinder.
Right, but it's in there. I mean,
I don't know what they were talking about. They had.
It got turned off again.
Yeah, maybe it was broken, but
There was a claim that it existed in some form.
Multi-node.
Wilson was trying to use, he has a patch. Wilson?
Yes, yeah, it's just things like that.
Yeah,
something I need.
He has a patch for campus test for migration.
No.
We're trying to turn it on, right?
Yes, but I just don't know how. I don't know how to change it.
Migration, it works. And similarly, we
Still going, guys.
So we also, yeah, I mean, you need that.
all right, stop the microphone.
The trash can.
So we also need more Tempest tests, I think. I tried in this cycle to write a new one, and it has not gone super great because it's kind of hard, but I have some unmerged code for a new one out there. But I think there's a fair number of features that still don't really have good coverage for that.
Yeah, I can look at the coverage for them.
I wrote a new test for volume manage unmanage, and the test works, but the whole dance of kind of configuring it through infra, you have to put patches into a few different places. You need DevStack, project config, and Tempest, and bullshit stuff that has to get lined up.
Well, it would be good to be more diligent about requiring Tempest tests for future deliveries.
Well, can they block it unless you have our own function test? My campus patch for PG got a -2, and Vincent's already can merge because you cannot. No, the campus, I submitted patch campus to test CG, got a -2.
All they told me
We didn't have functional tests.
No, because in temp we cannot test in the gate because
Yeah.
LV cannot use LV.
the requirement is you have to be able to like run it in the gate in
Yeah.
some form and show that it like is a useful test and works.
Yeah, so like manager, you should be able to use
So
LV
if-
and support it.
So if there's no,
But
yeah,
I
so
cannot.
if there's no software driver that supports the feature, then that might be a big hurdle for that.
Now, will functional tests for that gap?
Yeah, if we have that in our tree, then we can do that.
To some extent, I mean,
But it's not.
the Tempest test. Well, I know they're not
At
the
least to
same,
test
so.
CG, right now we don't have anything to test CG.
Well, what we need to be doing for that kind of thing I mean, I'm not a CI guy at all. I think what we need to be doing is using the Tempest lib stuff and putting them in Cinder, and
Yeah.
third-party CIs can turn them on.
Exactly, that's what, we did that in Manila, we do need that.
So wouldn't it help if we had functional tests in place?
Uh-huh.
Part of CI,
Yes.
running those functional
Yes.
tests and reporting those
Mhm.
will give us.
Correct.
I think,
That's what we want.
I don't
We
think that's
have
what functional tests use.
I thought that's what that,
Well,
yeah, I thought that's what that is.
the Tempest test will run against the APIs, right?
Yeah, and integrate.
I'm confused.
Needs to run API, yes.
Tempest tells the APIs directly.
Well,
They don't
there's-
use the lines.
Right.
Just write, for example, consistency here, symbols, numbers.
Maybe we should have a session on functional tests, what we need there. Sure, and understand what that is.
Yes.
If you want to see an example, Manila has all the entry as a plugin.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember that.
Yes.
Thanks. Okay. All right, guys, we're done.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong, guys.